everyone. Welcome to the 5th Bank for International Settlements Innovation Summit. We're so happy to have you here today, to all of you in person who made the journey to Basel, and to the many of you joining us online in various time zones. The BIS Innovation Summit is the Bank for International Settlements Innovation Hub's annual flagship event, convening central bankers, regulators, technology leaders, and academics to explore how innovation is shaping the future of finance. This year's summit runs from today, Tuesday the 9th of September, until Thursday the 11th of September. My name is Stephanie Hafner, and I will be your MC, or Master of Ceremonies, over the course of the day today. I'm an advisor for the Innovation Hub's Eurosystem Center on assignment from the Banque de France. So the theme for this year is future-proofing central banks, meaning we'll be focusing on how institutions can adapt and stay resilient in the face of rapid technological change. From the potential of AI and quantum computing to shifting talent needs and new approaches to risk, the summit will explore what central banks need to stay ahead. So with this theme in mind, we'll be taking deep dives into the practical uses of AI in central banking, from monetary policy and compliance to risk and operations. We'll also be looking at cross-border collaboration, so ways that regulators, central banks, and private sector leaders are working together across borders to drive innovation and to support a more stable financial system. This week's summit will feature discussions in several different formats with a list of impressive speakers representing diverse perspectives, from central bank governors to technology leaders and distinguished academics. We'll have high-level panel discussions where you can hear from our speakers on the big tech trends transforming finance. We'll also have fireside chats with these leading thinkers at the forefront of technology and systemic change. And we'll also have technical roundtables to focus on the practical issues on RegTech, AI adoption, financial market infrastructures, and more. And lastly, we'll have roundtable discussions and debates in a smaller, more interactive format, offering a deeper dive into technical challenges, policy considerations, and cross-sector collaboration. So now a few important housekeeping issues to cover. So firstly, we'd like to remind you that the summit is being live streamed and recorded and will be published on YouTube and the BIS website afterwards. For those of you joining us online, the meeting link will be continuous over the course of today and tomorrow, and QR code surveys will be accessible after each session. Secondly, because the summit is being live streamed, there won't be Q&A time carved into the agenda, but to those of you here in person, please feel free to ask any questions to our speakers during the breaks. All coffee, meal, and drink breaks will take place just outside the auditorium in the networking area of the first floor over here, and you'll also find bathrooms in this area. The networking area outside will also feature throughout the day and during the coffee and lunch breaks a poster exhibition featuring 27 projects from the BIS Innovation Hub, with Innovation Hub advisors representing each of them. So please feel free to approach them to learn more about each of our projects. We would also encourage both the audience and our speakers to please do your best to keep to the timings laid out in the agenda in terms of both the breaks and the panels. And this is to ensure that the next speakers can benefit from their full allocated time slot. Wi-Fi information can be found on the back of your badges, along with the agenda and speakers lineup, which can be consulted through the QR code on your badge. Finally, today's agenda will run until 6 p.m., at which point we have organized an apéro and social event for you, which will run until 8 p.m. We really look forward to meeting all of you in more depth during the afternoon coffee breaks and during the apéro. So now, in order to give you a deeper overview of this week's summit, I will now pass over to the BIS Deputy General Manager and Acting Head of the BIS Innovation Hub, Andréa M Maechler.
Good afternoon. Wow, I haven't seen that many people in this room. It's really wonderful to see this many people, and also different people, central bankers. I see a lot of you, but supervisors, private sector, academics. It is really a great pleasure for me to welcome all of you to the BIS Summit, Innovation Summit. I believe it's the 5th edition already. I don't know how many of you have been here for the 5th time, but it is really a pleasure that each time there's always more to learn, more to exchange, and more people to do it with. With this innovation summit, we continue to foster really meaningful discussion on technology innovation in the financial system, bringing together really a wide range of participants. So the first thing I want to say is thank you. Thank you for being here, for those of you who are here in person, and for, of course, for those who are also streaming from abroad. This conference is hosted by the BIS Innovation Hub, a six-year-old initiative that the BIS and central banks around the world created to help navigate the very fast technological change that we are seeing. Why is this important? Technology drives the economy, it shapes industries, and redefines how we interact with society. Central banks, as stewards of monetary and financial stability, need to understand how technology is evolving and harness these advances to help fulfill their mandates. The Innovation Hub has a three-pronged approach. It's always a tough word to say, but it is a three-pronged approach to help support central banks and policymakers. But I like the word because it is a very important one. First, the BIS Innovation Hub is asked to identify new technologies, and it does that often through horizon scanning exercise. And the week today, like we're having now, is clearly also part of it. Second, the hub develops public goods. For this, it runs projects in collaboration with central banks and other partners in areas core to central bank mandates, such as monetary policy, financial stability, the provision of money, payments, infrastructure, and supervision. The projects are experimental in nature. They demonstrate what is possible to do with new ideas, new technologies, and of course, there's always the possibility, in some cases, to mature some of the projects. And third, the hub facilitates collaboration on technological innovation. Again, this is very important because as we all know, as we can all observe, new technologies are on the horizon and they move very fast. Quantum and edge computing are under development, new frontiers in cybercrime, I should say, hopefully just as much in cybersecurity, matter for central banks, and the use cases of AI abound. As we would expect, various technological solutions are being deployed by the private sector the way we would want them to do so, but there is also a need to keep the greater public interest in mind. What do I mean? What does it mean? What do these new technology, what do these new adoption of technology mean for the financial sector of the whole, for the monetary landscape, for our ability to implement monetary policy? And beyond preparing for central banks for innovation, central banks also, like many also of the private sector, but also often have to manage all of this within very tight budgetary and resource envelopes. So it is through this three-pronged approach, I say it again, that the BIS Innovation Hub creates an opportunity for central banks to build something greater than the sum of its parts. Solutions that have a public policy, not necessarily only a profit objective, although ultimately, of course, solution will need to be economically viable. And a collaborative approach to innovation, one that pools resources, shares insights, and leverages economies of scale. This is how the hub plays a critical role. It can help bridge gaps in understanding technology. It can create innovative solutions shaped by a broad spectrum of experiences and best practices. And as today, as the next few days will show, it can drive collaboration and engagement across a broad range of stakeholders to safely contribute to the future of the financial sector. I just got the numbers of all the people who are here, I believe in person, so that doesn't include the people who are looking virtually, is just to give you a sense, we're over 60% from the central banking and supervisory community, just about under 10% of academics that are here, and a good 20 to 25% of the private sector. So clearly a very nice group and composition of people. Because why is this so important? Because to achieve all of this, this is what we need. We need all of us, all of you, to work together, to be here, and to exchange. So let me turn now a few minutes to some of the highlights, or how do we think about the structure of today's Innovation Summit. So over the next three days, and we've already heard of it, there'll be a number of high-level panel discussions, fireside chats, in-depth technological roundtables to explore 3 interconnected themes: future-proofing central banks, AI for the financial sector, and cross-border collaboration. The program is really designed to provide a platform for knowledge sharing and a space to generate actionable insights that can ultimately help shape the future of central banking. So let me start with the first theme, future-proofing central banks. Rapid advancement in technologies are transforming central banks' work from payments to monetary policy to financial regulation. While we cannot predict the future, we can help make central banks become more flexible, agile, and ready to respond to as many circumstances as possible. How do we build this readiness? We have some ideas, and look forward to discussing different ones, different perspectives with you in the next 3 days of the summit. And this is why I really encourage you to share your ideas. But I don't only encourage you to share your ideas, share also with us your questions. Because it is just as important to share, to get the right question. What are the right questions? We should all be thinking about it from our different perspectives. In a rapidly evolving world, it is important for central bank to be conscious of the benefits of technology, but it is equally important to understand the risk around this technology. To understand what is possible with technology and how it can be used to change and improve the financial system in a safe and responsible way, we experiment, we collaborate in different ways, we wear our critical hats. In other words, we get involved. Just to give you some example, the Hub is undertaking several projects to explore the benefits of new technologies. Some initiatives have been looking to understand how tokenization can help improve the way the financial system works today, such as, for instance, one of our flagship projects, the project Agora, but also Genesis, Promissa, Opine. Other projects are exploring different aspects of technology. They're looking at, for instance, how can we improve or maintain integrity? We have projects Aurora, Ursa, Mandela, and other projects look at security, such as the project LEAP or Polaris of the financial system. And the nice thing, all of these projects are done in different centers around the world, so that also creates already a first start towards cross-country collaboration. You will hear much more about these projects during the conference, because many of the authors, contributors to these projects are here. And you will learn about their achievements and what they mean and what are the lessons learned. Because in the end, but the most important, while there's excitement, and I'm the first to be excited about the achievement of every and single of these projects, this is really not about just having cool projects. This is having projects that we can rely on. This is about, or at least hoping to use the technology in a very safe, in a responsible way. So it is really not, and today is going to show this as well, it is really not about using the latest technology no matter what, just to be using it. It is really about how do we harness its benefit to serve the trust and stability that are so essential for well-functioning monetary architecture. So let me move briefly to the next theme, which is AI. And here I will be brief because there is a lot to say, but more importantly, you will hear more about this from our general manager, Pablo Hernández de Cos, tomorrow, who will introduce the topic. But there's no exaggeration to say that AI is likely to be a paradigm-changing technology. It has the benefit or the potential to benefit automation, hopefully productivity, and operational efficiency. However, it also presents some shortcomings so far, right? On trust, transparency, explainability, and importantly, I find that the most fascinating, AI lacks one component, one element. AI lacks self-awareness. AI does not know what it does not know. I know, right? And it's actually something quite important. For central banks, we all know it, AI is not a choice, it is a must. In fact, in the horizon scanning exercise the Innovation Hub has developed, AI clearly comes out as the technology theme of the highest potential impact on central banks across the next 5 to 10 years. So central banks' jobs is to sustain trust in a monetary and financial system, and they need to make sure that when change happens, when technological change happens, as it is likely to be the case with AI, it will happen for the better. And this brings me to the question, how? How should central banks approach AI developments? What foundations are required? What should be the level of ambition? And how could they best collaborate to achieve the goals? Well, I don't have all the answers. Not yet, hopefully. But I do hope that the next few days will help us move forward, whether it's in answers or in sharpening the questions that will help us tell what are the areas we need to analyze further. And like many central banks, the BIS has already started its journey. The Hub has played a key role in exploring various AI applications to support central bank and supervisors in the mandate. I'll give you a few more project names. The Hub has Project Spectrum, Project Neo, Project Insight that explore how AI and data can strengthen monetary policy, that address governance frameworks, and that assesses systemic impacts of AI adoption. To succeed with AI, central banks need a unified approach underpinned by a strong foundation that is often invisible and yet so critical. What am I talking about? I'm talking a foundation which includes a solid risk framework, strong data governance, effective AI model validation mechanism, and of course, last but not least, a constant upskilling of human capital. Collaboration remains key to address in leveraging AI responsibly. This brings me to the third theme of the BIS Innovation Summit, which is cross-border collaboration. Balancing innovation with stability is a journey that no institution can take on its own. I would argue we need 3 key ingredients: new forms of collaboration, partnerships, and platforms for knowledge sharing. First, we must embrace new forms of collaboration. This is exactly what we do here at the Hub, which promotes an agile and collaborative work culture. And this collaboration fosters out-of-the-box thinking and innovative ideas, which are absolutely critical to push the frontiers. Second, a variety of partners is vital, exactly what I also said in my introductory remarks. The work has worked with academia, with the private sector, and with central banks and supervisors. And third, platforms for knowledge sharing, like this summit, allow for having conversations, sharing knowledge, and driving the ideas for future innovation projects. So let me conclude. I believe that no institution can handle these challenges alone. Global challenges require global efforts. While we harness the benefits of technological developments, let's not forget the real question is how effectively we as people rise to the occasion. How well we collaborate, how carefully we leverage technology, how successfully we attract and retain talent, and how diligently we take time to build the necessary strong foundations. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to exploring with you the future of the financial system together. Thank you.